Today in this country, we have created a multi-billion-dollar machine. It serves no other purpose than to take away our children. What would you do if someone came up to you in your home or on the street and took away your children? What would you be expected to do? What is the predictable response of any parent if someone interferes with their children? Would you stand there jabbering about how you are a good parent? Would you start amassing evidence to show that you had been an involved parent and therefore your children shouldn't be taken away? Or would you fight for your children? Would you use any means at your disposal to recover your children and protect them? Yet this is precisely what we expect American parents to do. To sit there in silence as their children are taken away. No parent is going to do that. No parent should do it. And to expect parents to sit there and acquiesce in the stealing of their children is to seriously pervert our criminal justice system and our entire government. Who is addressing this? Who is resisting this? Politicians are not doing so, obviously. They're the ones that are perpetrating it. Although I must say it's very gratifying to hear politicians here today beginning to do so. Journalists studiously avoid it. Human rights groups and civil libertarians look the other way. The few attorneys who speak out are suspended or disbarred. Even groups that claim to be pro-family organizations seem to avoid it, seem to look the other way. We are the only ones that are defending the family. And it's not because we are especially virtuous or moral, it's because they are our children. And I think there's an important principle in that we need to learn. In America today, there are two main checks on the power of the government. One is the Constitution, the other is, as G.K. Chesterton pointed out, the family. Both of them are under threat, and for the same reasons. Because they limit the power of the government, we cannot trust the government to protect them. We do not entrust the government to protect the Constitution. Citizens, by definition, must protect the Constitution, ultimately. Likewise, we cannot trust politicians and government officials to protect the family. Parents alone must protect their children. Contrary to the government propaganda, the only people who can protect and defend their children are their parents. And I therefore believe that today in America, the only people that can defend our freedom are also the parents of America. In response to a foreign threat, we send young men abroad to fight, to risk their lives, and if necessary, to die for our freedom. And when they come home, what do they find? That their children have been taken away, and they're summoned to court as if they were criminals. They're treated as if they abandoned their children because they were off on foreign soil fighting for the defense of those children and for ours. They fight and they die for our freedom, just as the men of the American Revolution and the Civil War died for our freedom. If a man hasn't discovered something he is willing to die for, said Dr. Martin Luther King, he isn't fit to live. Dr. King, of course, practiced that accident. The great Czech philosopher Jan Patočka, who died under interrogation in a communist prison, said that the life not willing to sacrifice itself to that which makes life meaningful is not a life worth living. Our forefathers made that sacrifice, and we have seen men and women in our own times making that sacrifice. Wilbur Street sacrificed his life for his children. John Murtari sits in a jail cell today and may sacrifice his. Brian Armstrong went to jail and lost his life. Darren White, Charles London, Stephen Cook, Lou Barber. I could sit here all day and recite the names of parents and children whose lives have been sacrificed on the altar of the almighty divorce industry. The fate of these parents and children shows us why parents and other Americans today live in terror of the government. Parents live in fear of officials to whom we are supposed to look for justice. Parents live in fear of judges, lawyers, police, therapists, social workers. I think the children of America will be safe when government officials live in fear of parents.
Amen.
The children of America are in great danger today, but they will not be protected by government officials or government programs. Judges and lawyers cannot protect our children. Social workers and therapists cannot protect our children. The children of America will not be made safe or secure by arresting their fathers. The children of America will be safe only when every father in America stands up and says to the world and to the government, "You touch my children, and you will answer to me." God bless you.